Everybody, here we are, day 2. There we go. Ditch your debt challenge, day 2. It's time to break up. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Love to see you jumping on. That's me, Belinda Rosenblum, leading the Ditch Your Debt. Hi there. For those of you just joining, let me know your name so that I can connect with you. Hey, Kim. I saw Samantha, I think. Melissa from New York is back for day 2. Yay! Hey, Val. Hey, Kim. Hey, Tawana. So fun. Hey, Samantha. Yeah, I thought I saw you jump on. Hey, Michelle. Amy. Iana from Brooklyn. Awesome. Cornelia Coach from Romania, I think, right? Vicky from New Jersey. Awesome, awesome. JR from Milwaukee. JR, you are a lucky man. You're here with a lot of women. We're all good. Yay! I did remember Cornelia was from Romania. I remember we were scoping. Here, I'll turn it around. Awesome. I remember that we were scoping, and it was so funny because I was talking about Pat and Leslie from Southbridge. Awesome. Talking about fun things that you could do, and you're honored. Yeah, you're in good company. And it was so funny because she was talking about, you're in Milwaukee too. How cool is that? Hey, Norma in New Jersey. And Cornelia was going to go to the Black Sea for her activity. Shirley Littleton, hey there. And thanks for your email. I'm so excited that you're getting a ton from this. Everybody, super, super fun. We are here for day 2. Love the t-shirt. Oh, yeah. Can you guys see this? Just freaking do it. I'm trying to, let's excuse my little rash at my neck there. But yeah, just freaking do it. You got to read it carefully. Yesterday's t-shirt I wore for you all too, but I forgot to point it out. It said, why wait to be memorable? I got that at a Tony Robbins event, and just really, really good stuff. So as we're kicking off, as promised, oh, Linda, do you remember who gave us this song today? As promised, we're going to start with a little dance party here. This is Marvin Sapp, Yes You Can. Hopefully thanks for all the hearts, everybody. Hopefully all of you have your song that you're either using when you're, hey there, welcome back. Your song that you're using when you're doing your Ditch Your Debt challenge for the day, or really just something that gets you going in the mornings that can help inspire you. Your favorite artist. I do not know Marvin Sapp, and you all are really enlightening me. We're going through and we're actually making a whole playlist for the Ditch Your Debt group, so we'll be posting that soon too. And just creating a playlist because I think it's so fun to have all these great songs. I am not so familiar with him, but I'm really loving it. So, let's see. Oh, then the other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to get, I want to post the link. We keep getting disconnected. So weird. Sorry. See if you can get on a good Wi-Fi. And then that helps a lot instead of trying to use your data. If you're able to get on Wi-Fi, let's do that. So let me get the link for Periscope. And then this one I'm going to try and do in the future is to post the link real time. It posts to my Facebook page, but I'm going to post it to our group too. And where is our group? There we go. To get our group. Okay, there we go. Oh, Sheila Cook. Thanks, Sheila, for giving us this song today. Live on Periscope. Join in now. Okay, great. Okay, cool. Done. Yay! Okay, good. Now more folks can jump on. So yes, you can. Thanks so much for sharing that with us, Sheila. And so we're so excited to get going. Let me grab my notes today. And so today was an interesting day, actually. Most of the other days, I'll let the song play out. It's kind of fun to have music in the background, honestly. Most of the other days, what I've done is, I've really look to build this challenge in a way that feels really doable and approachable. It's really foundational to my work at Own Your Money. And so the way I devised it is that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you have these more tactical, strategic, numbers-oriented things to do to be paying off your debt. And I'm going to teach you how to negotiate it down, how to look at different 0% offers. So I would say bring your offer to our Periscope that day. You can ask me any questions. I'm going to bring a whole bunch of mine. We pulled a bunch so that I can show you some of the really rough wording that comes in some of those that you need to watch out for. So today is day 2, and it's called It's Time to Break Up. And once again, I am Belinda Rosenblum. I have founded a company called Own Your Money to help you really step into your power and freedom that can come from learning how to use money as a tool instead of what happens with most people, which is where they get stuck in the judgment and the shame and the guilt of living with their money. And it becomes more of a chore, and it becomes often something that people are just really afraid of. And so that's not what I want for you. I want you to be able to step into this really empowered place where you free yourself from your debt and you live in this, as Marvin says, yes, you can approach to life, and particularly approach to your life with money. So not that long ago, I was speaking with a woman named Melanie Lockert, and she runs a blog called DearDebt.com. And we were having this really interesting conversation around paying off your debt and why she started her blog. And as I got talking about it, I said, you know what, this would be such an amazing way for all of our ditch your debtors to jump into really breaking up and letting go of the chains, or sometimes what feels like the noose around your neck that your debt can be holding on you. So today is all about literally writing a letter to break up with your debt. If you've ever wanted to write a letter, or I'm even thinking of the episode, the Sex and the City episode where like they wrote a Post-it note to break up. This is like a letter where you get to write it. Literally, you just write Dear Debt and you sign it with your name. And then everything else that goes in the middle is very much from your heart and is what comes to you. There's no right or wrong. You know, Melanie and I had a long conversation about it because it's about understanding that it's all good and it's really meant to be this very cathartic practice for you where you let yourself be grateful or angry or vulnerable or silly or sad or creative or whatever you feel like you need to say to your debt. Maybe it serves you. That's where the grateful part comes from. Like, thank you for being there when I needed to use this money to pay for XYZ medical bills, say, or to give a gift. But now, you know what? I'm ready to break up with you. So whatever that looks like, that's what today is all about, because you'll notice each day we give you a little daily dose of gratitude at the top. Today's daily dose is it's by Joe Vitale, and hold on, let me pull it up for you really quick. Here we go. And it is not happy people who are thankful. It is thankful people who are happy. And I love Dr. Joe Vitale. I'm a big fan of his. And I just think that he really understands this idea of gratitude and how we can shift our state of being. And so what I want you to do is I want you to allow this Dear Debt letter today to start to shift things for you. And I did it very intentionally. You'll also learn this about me. What I do is very strategic. And then I started with you just figuring out what are the facts. And I want to hear actually now on Facebook and Periscope as we keep going, what did you start to, like what started to open up for you, or what did you start to notice when you actually use the table that I gave you, the Know Your Facts table, to identify your specific credit card debt and to start to total it up. So just throw some comments in here on Periscope if you could about what that was like for you. I received some really nice notes by email or message and on the in our group as well, about really that you were already learning and really stepping into, I really can do that. So tell me, why was it a huge wow moment for you? That's really great to hear, because sometimes it's not as bad as people think. Sometimes it's worse, that it's depressing to see the amount. Well, I totally get that at first it can feel depressing, the horror of what you really owed, anxiety. We have to just bring these feelings up, because when we don't, they actually live just under the skin and they distract us all the time, and they literally almost make our skin crawl, right? Because we hold on to that anxiety. And at least it's depressing. I get the anxiety part. It's depressing because I don't have much. You just ignore it. Well, it's painful. It drives you nuts. I mean, I totally get it. And these are all things that you can be expressing in this letter. Amy is proud of herself that in a year and a half, you've almost decreased your debt in half. That's amazing, Amy, because my instinct is that you've made a commitment that you want to get this paid off, and that's what you're doing. Go, Amy. Yeah, look at that. We have a cheering section for you. You have a big resistance regarding the first day. I, quote, don't have time. Look at all the cheers for Amy. That's awesome. So I totally get the I don't have time. And the funny part is that really we don't have time. I get it, right? Time feels like this finite resource. But the reality is that when needed, we actually have time for what's important. Got a little weird lipstick thing going on right now. That we have time for what's important. And it's interesting because I have two small children, for those of you who don't know, 2 years and 3 months. And whenever there's something going on with them, I find that I make the time, right? I may not have the time, but when they need me, I make the time. And so what I want you to do is to really look at your time, for instance, Cornelia, since you just mentioned this, and look to see what can be shifting around. Where can you literally create time? Where can you, Shirley shares, it's similar to you going on a diet to lose weight. First, you have to get real about what you're eating. Yes, it's exactly like that. And it's so funny you mentioned that, Shirley, because I can't tell you how many people, this is why I call it own your money, own your life, have stepped into this place of I'm going to track my money. And then they also step into a place of I'm going to track what I eat. And I totally get that facing the truth can be difficult. I completely agree. And it's so did a lot of other people, it sounds like. But that's why I put it first, is that when you can just come to terms with it and you can see what's real, then you can do something about it. Because when you don't, that's where the anxiety lives and the fear lives and the pain lives and all that stuff. So what I'm looking to have you do is to just frickin' do it, right? Is to get to the place where you just sit down, you set your timer. I have a little timer here. I would recommend it for everybody, that you just keep next to your computer, maybe next to your phone, next to wherever you do Facebook, and set the timer. And it doesn't have to be a lot of time. It can be 15, 20 minutes. Most of the time we build up in our head how long something is going to take, and it rarely ever takes as long as we think it's going to take. So you just set the timer. And what I like about this little kitchen timer is, first of all, I like the digital better. The ones that are round, often they go tick, 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 and they literally like drive me nutty. So this one I like because it gives you warning. So if I set it, let's say, for 30 minutes, I may do that in the future for the Periscope. And so, or you can either set it for the time and then you see it'll go up and then you can hit start and it'll count down, or you can just start it and then it serves as a running count of how much time you're spending on something. Most of the time, though, when it comes to our money and finding time for our finances, what really works is that you set it for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just sit down and do it. Because it's much more built up when it's in our heads. And when we actually sit down, we have an easy table to fill out. It's not nearly as hard as you think it's going to be. And then you can get real about it. That's what the first session is called. Because once you get real, then you can do something. And I mean, I've spoken with people that do this exercise and realize they have $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000. Yesterday, I told a story on Periscope of a client who are a couple, and they had almost $80,000 in debt. But once we could actually put it down on paper and we could see each item and we could create a game plan of how we were going to handle it, everything opened up and we could stop the bleed. We could stop them living beyond their means once they could see what they were doing on a regular basis by building up the debt. So, so first off, thanks thank you to all of you who were willing to get honest, were willing to post it up. I'm going to do a little survey as well because I want to know how much debt we're talking about, because sometimes the strategies even for next week may differ a little bit. If you have a lot of debt or a little bit of debt, I'll probably just talk about both, but it'll help me to know a little bit more in terms of where you're at. And if you want to post on the group, that's fine too. You know, the average family who has debt has over $15,000 in debt, which is just way too much, you know, in America. And because what it does is it pulls your past into your present. Should we have included student loans? So the stats I just gave you don't include student loans. I believe they're really based around credit card debt. Student loans is an interesting one. You can include it if you want to be accelerating your payments to get those paid off, or if we need to really bring them onto the radar screen and learn how to let go of the shame and guilt that you may have around those too. What I will tell you though is most of the time we're actually going to be paying off other things first, because most of the time they do have higher interest rates. However, when you put your student loans on here, what it will likely do is it will bring it to the forefront. It will bring it onto the radar screen for you, so that if there's a space where you put in the interest rate and you're like, wow, I didn't realize that my interest rate was so high on my student loans, then you may be in a space where you can consolidate them. And you can consolidate them into, not into a 0% credit card. I don't recommend that because student loans are normally bigger amounts and we want to be paying them off over time as installment loans, which actually helps your credit score versus credit card debt, which is all due immediately. But what I can tell you is that you can often consolidate them. And there are some people, excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold too. There are some people who are actually relatively high. No problem, welcome back. And I know sometimes the connection goes in and out. I tried to make sure that, yeah, I have a strong Wi-Fi signal going on. Student loans bring you the most guilt and anxiety. You've decreased your credit card debt considerably. Samantha, thank you for sharing that. I totally get it. So, why is it for you that student loans are bringing you the anxiety? If we can start to address the why for you, Samantha, then we can start to do something about it. Okay? And we want to make sure that we're able to stay current. We don't want to, let's say, take more, and I know sometimes the connection goes in and out, and sometimes you may even need to close out and come back in if you lose the connection. I have a really strong connection. Your best bet is always on Wi-Fi versus trying to use data. That usually helps keep a stronger connection too. But I know I watch a lot of people on Periscope, and I do notice that as well. So anyway, Samantha, let me know, why is it that your student debt brings on so much debt? Let's see. Because the debt is so huge, it feels like you'll never pay it off. I get it. And student loan debt is one of those things. If you want, you can share how much it is. I think that there is a point where you will pay it off, but it will take some time. And what we can do is you can pay off your credit card debt first. Yeah, for a lot of people. $72,000 is a lot of student loan debt. I totally get it. $47,000, it feels like a lot of loan debt too. But that is actually at a space where you can pay it off. But I do want you're almost $100,000. I do want you to